Welcome to OnCourtAI, the UK's leading AI tennis coach. I'm Coach Chris, joined as always by former touring professional Alex and sports psychologist Dr. Sam. Welcome back to the Court Report. Today, we're diving into some insightful data from the last week on the OnCourtAI platform. A total of 69 videos were uploaded by 43 players, and we welcomed 62 new members into our community. It's fantastic to see such growth. Now, let's break down the strokes. The serve stood out with an average score of 64.6 out of 100, with a range from 52 to 80. This suggests that while many players are making strides, there's still room for improvement. The forehand average of 50.1 indicates some challenges, while the backhand fared better with an average of 62.6. This week, we'll also highlight some individual player achievements that caught our eye.
Absolutely, Coach. Looking at the numbers, it's clear that there's a significant difference in performance between forehands and backhands. The 12-point gap in average scores suggests that many players are leaning heavily on their backhands. This phenomenon is not uncommon. When I was on tour, I noticed that players who relied too much on one side often struggled against opponents who could exploit their weaknesses. It's essential to develop both wings to become a well-rounded player. So let's celebrate those who did manage to shine in the recent uploads.
I love how you both highlighted the importance of balance in stroke development. Players can often get caught up in perfecting one stroke at the expense of the other. It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one. When players focus solely on their dominant side, they may inadvertently create mental blocks or fears around their weaker side. This week's data should serve as a motivating reminder for everyone to work on their weaknesses. Balance is not just about technique, it's also about mindset.
Now, let's get to the player highlights. Cristian absolutely crushed it with a score of 80 on their serve, and the toss height of 59 centimeters is impressive. This toss height is crucial because it gives them the right time and space to execute their serve effectively. When I coach, I emphasize that a consistent toss height can significantly impact serve accuracy and power. It's fantastic to see that Cristian has nailed this aspect. What an achievement.
Cristian's performance is a great example of how effective a well-practiced serve can be. On the tour, we often talk about the importance of the toss. I remember a match where my opponent had a very high toss, and I struggled to read it, ultimately leading to a couple of double faults on my end. Toss height creates a rhythm and timing that can be difficult for opponents to adjust to. Cristian is definitely on the right track.
It's fascinating how the mental and physical aspects of the toss interplay. A player who consistently practices their toss and feels in control can significantly reduce anxiety during matches. This control breeds confidence, which is crucial when serving under pressure. Players like Cristian are setting a great example by mastering this skill. They're building a solid foundation that will serve them well in competitive situations.
Next up is Bernd, who had the best shoulder-hip coil with an X-factor separation of 59 centimeters on their forehand. That's an excellent unit turn. The X-factor is all about the rotational gap between the shoulders and hips at the start of the swing. The bigger this gap, the more potential power is generated. Think of it as winding up a spring. When players can achieve that 25 centimeters or more, they're on the right path to creating a powerful shot. Bernd is clearly doing something right.
Exactly, Coach. The X factor is a critical component of generating power, especially on the forehand. I remember training with a coach who drilled this concept into me. They always said, the more you can coil, the more you can unleash. Bernd's ability to achieve that separation shows not only good technique, but also a solid understanding of how to use their body effectively. This separation can help in delivering a more explosive shot, which is essential on the tour.
It's also interesting to consider the mental aspect behind achieving that X factor. For many players, the idea of coiling up can feel counterintuitive, especially if they're worried about timing or over-rotation. Building confidence in this movement can take practice. Players must visualize and embody that coil to feel it in their strokes. Bernd's success here might inspire others to embrace that full-body movement.
Now let's talk about Gorjan, who demonstrated impressive weight transfer with 60 centimeters of hip-forward movement into their forehand. They still have some work to do, but this is a great start. Weight transfer is vital because it allows players to engage their lower body and create more power through the shot. When players drive their hips forward, they're harnessing the kinetic chain effectively, which translates to a stronger shot. It's all about using the body's momentum.
Right on, coach. I often tell players to think of their bodies as a rubber band. The more they stretch and then release that tension with proper weight transfer, the more explosive their shots will be. On tour, I would focus heavily on this aspect during training. A well-timed hip drive can completely change the trajectory and speed of the ball. Gorjan is on the right track, and with some adjustments, they could really elevate their game.
Weight transfer is also about building good habits. Players are often eager to hit the ball hard without considering their body mechanics. It's essential to cultivate a mindset that values the entire process of the shot, from the initial stance, through the weight transfer, to the follow-through. Gorjan's current progress is encouraging, and with focus, they can build those good habits into their game.
Moving on, we have Mufunani, who scored 77 on their serve with a knee bend of 123 degrees. That's excellent. The knee bend is a crucial aspect of the serve because it allows for better leg drive and explosiveness. Ideally, players should aim for 130 to 150 degrees for optimal power. Mufunani is close to that range, and with a little adjustment, they could see an increase in serve speed and control.
Absolutely, coach. I remember working on my knee bend during my early years on tour. It's all about using your legs to launch your serve effectively. That lower body power can make a world of difference, especially when facing tough opponents. Mufunani's achievement is commendable, and with just a slight adjustment, they could elevate their serve to the next level.
It's also about consistency and confidence. When players are aware of their knee bend and actively work on it, they start to develop a sense of control over their serve. This mental awareness can help them feel more grounded and stable during their toss and swing. It's all about creating a routine that reinforces these habits, and Mufunani seems well on their way.
Next, let's discuss Savia, who also scored 75 on their serve. They had an excellent toss of 37 centimeters and a knee bend of 119 degrees, but their trophy elbow position needs improvement. The elbow should ideally be at 90 to 110 degrees at the trophy position for maximum racket drop and power generation. Savia is doing a lot right, but focusing on that elbow position could make a significant difference in their serve.
Savia's situation is a great reminder that even when players are performing well, there's always room for fine-tuning. On tour, I learned that small adjustments can lead to big changes in performance. A proper trophy position is crucial. It sets the stage for the entire serve. Savia has a solid foundation, and with a bit of focus on their elbow alignment, they could definitely enhance their serve.
I agree, and it's important to maintain a positive mindset during this process. When players see themselves making progress, it builds their confidence. I encourage Savia to visualize that ideal trophy position and practice it consistently. Over time, this will help develop muscle memory, making it easier to achieve during matches. Confidence in their technique will be key.
Pam is another player who scored 75 on their serve. They had an excellent toss of 50 centimeters and a knee bend of 142 degrees. However, like Savia, their trophy elbow position needs improvement. It's exciting to see players with such great potential. The key takeaway here is that even when everything else is looking good, attention to detail can elevate performance. If Pam can refine that elbow position, it could lead to even better serves.
Exactly, coach. The serve is such a nuanced stroke, and it often comes down to tiny adjustments that make a big difference. On tour, I always focused on my serve mechanics. The trophy position is like the foundation of a house. If it's not solid, everything else can crumble. Pam is doing many things well, and with attention to that elbow, they'll be able to serve at a higher level.
And let's not forget the mental aspect here. Pam is on the right track, and by acknowledging the need for improvement, they're already taking a crucial step. I encourage them to embrace this journey of refining their technique. Taking pride in the process and celebrating small victories along the way will help build confidence. It's all part of the growth.
Now, let's turn our attention to Yuthi, who also scored 75 on their serve. They had an excellent toss height of 61 centimeters, but their knee bend of 81 degrees and trophy elbow angle of 142 degrees need improvement. This serves as a reminder that even good toss heights can't compensate for issues in other parts of the serve. UD has the potential to serve well, but they'll need to focus on those critical aspects to maximize their performance.
That's a great point, Coach. It's like building a puzzle. Every piece is essential for the overall picture. On tour, I often saw players with good tosses but poor lower body mechanics. It's about finding that balance. If UD can work on their knee bend and elbow position, they could unlock that power and accuracy that's currently just out of reach.
It's also crucial for UD to develop a routine that allows them to focus on these adjustments without feeling overwhelmed. Breaking down their serve into manageable parts can reduce anxiety and help them approach practice with a positive mindset. Consistency is key, and by reinforcing good habits over time, they'll build confidence in their mechanics.
Lastly, we have Alex, who scored 73 on their serve. They had a great toss height of 45 centimeters, but their knee bend of 178 degrees and trophy elbow of 164 degrees show room for improvement. Knee bend is critical for generating power, and having too straight a leg position limits explosive potential. If Alex can work on achieving that optimal knee bend, they will see improvements in the speed and accuracy of their serve.
Absolutely, Coach. I used to struggle with knee bend myself. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you can drive up and out into the ball. I remember my coach constantly reminding me to focus on how my legs could propel my serve. If Alex can make those adjustments, they'll definitely find more success on the court.
And for Alex, it's vital to approach this process with a growth mindset. Recognizing that they have areas to improve in is the first step towards mastery. I encourage them to visualize their ideal serving mechanics and practice consistently. This kind of mental rehearsal can help reinforce new habits, making it easier to achieve them in match situations.
Now, let's move on to our drill of the day. Today's drill is the knee bend and leg drive drill. This is particularly relevant because many of the videos we've reviewed highlight the need for better balance at contact and maintaining the center of mass over the support base. To execute this drill, players should work on their knee bend and leg drive by practicing slow-motion serves. Start by setting up in the correct stance, focusing on bending the knees to the ideal angle and driving through with the legs.
That's a fantastic drill, Coach. I remember seeing top players like Roger Federer and Serena Williams emphasizing their knee bend in slow-motion practice sessions. They understand that maximizing leg drive significantly improves power and serve accuracy. By focusing on these fundamental elements, players can develop a solid foundation that translates into more effective serves during matches.
And from a mental perspective, building consistency with this drill is key. Players should approach it with patience and a mindset of improvement. I recommend dedicating about 20 minutes to practicing this drill regularly. Initially, it might feel awkward, but over time, as players reinforce the correct movements, it will become more automatic. Embrace the process and celebrate small victories along the way.
Exactly, Dr. Sam. To summarize, the key takeaway from today's drill is that focusing on knee bend and leg drive can significantly impact serve performance. Proper mechanics create a powerful foundation for consistent serves. Remember, practice with intention and soon you'll see improvements in your balance and power on the court. Ready to improve your game? Upload your shot today at OnCourtAI.co.uk.